Good morning, everyone. Can we kind of all filter in so we can kind of get started? Anybody in the room hungover from last night? Show of hands. I don't drink, so if anyone needs a designated driver sometime, just let me know. All right, we're going to do something a little different today. It's my goal that we create more transparency and openness within the there's my clicker, within our organization. So today we're going to have a community meeting. It's going to be about 30 minutes. I'm going to go over a few topics that I think are relevant to our community and give you a chance to get some feedback. So why community meetings? NANOG is really devoted to its community and the people that make up our community. We want to develop an environment of openness and transparency. We have a desire for open dialogue and meaningful conversations. We want to keep our community informed, and we're hoping for constructive feedback within the NANOG community to create a more open and diverse environment. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is, first of all, the code of conduct. Tina referenced it in the opening, but I want to go in and just line by line let you understand what it is, and again, solicit some feedback about that so you can understand what kind of community we're trying to build and reinforce within NANOG. Second, I want to talk about NANOG outreach. We're making a transition. You've known it before as NANOG on the road, and we're trying to expand it so that we can do more outreach within our community that'll hopefully feed back into the membership and do more good within our community. I'm going to go over the website. I talked about it briefly. I'm not going to do an actual demo, but I'm going to take you through a few screens so you can see how we've changed our navigation and some of the improvements were made, and let you know how you can go take a look at it. Can I go back? And we're gonna get a chance to meet the staff and then open up for Q&A. So I have a truncated first line, but that's okay. So our code of conduct. We've spent a lot of time on this and trying to create a document that will, again, reinforce community, openness, diversity. So in our code of conduct, we are trying to avoid any unwelcome behavior, including or not limited to aggressive pushing of your own services, products, or causes, distribution or consumption of alcohol in NANOG contracted spaces. And this is basically any alcohol that's not served by the hotel. So we don't want you having your little homemade hooch being passed around through the community. Audio, video recordings of the few sessions where recording is not permitted. Engaging in any activity that is illegal or violates NANOG's or its sponsors' contracts with the venues or our contractors. Offensive comments, physical contact because of sex, sexual orientation, gender, identity, gender expression, age, disability, physical appearance, personal appearance, race, color, national origin, or religion, or lack thereof, sexual images of any kind displayed in public spaces, deliberate intimidation, stalking, threatening, or following of individuals, demeaning or disruptive behavior or speech, harassing photography or recording of any kind, sustained distribution of presentations or, sustained disruption of presentations or other events, inappropriate physical contact, and unwelcome sexual attention. I think this is something we probably all can agree to, but again, there's going to be a chance for Q&A for you to give your feedback. Outreach. Outreach is something that's kind of really near and dear to me. And I think the purpose of outreach is to increase diversity within our community, and to do so, we must look outward. There's no way you're going to create diversity within a closed environment. The only way you're going to create diversity is by looking outwards and trying to bring more people who have different points of views or come from different situations to help build and reinforce our community. Educational outreach beyond our community is crucial to the development of a healthy and diverse ecosystem. It is our plan to empower students, women, people of color, and groups living in areas with less access and resources. We plan to work with community liaisons to plan and deliver targeted programming that resonates within each unique audience. The website. So we've spent a lot of time trying to focus and rebuild the website. I'm very fortunate to have a great team of people who have been sitting here and spending a lot of hours so that we can kind of restructure our website so that we can have better communications with our community and with prospective audiences about NANOG. As I mentioned before, our website is kind of divided in sections where there is the public-facing piece for people who are coming to figure out what is NANOG. And there's also the meeting area, and then the other section of it is the area where people who are doing business within NANOG, you're submitting a presentation, et cetera. So first I want to talk about, just kind of go over the navigation. And for those of you who want to take a look at the new site that's up to beta, it's at new.nanog.org. So you can always go to new.nanog.org and you can see the new website. So I want to talk about our navigation structure. So as you can see, the first navigation structure is participate. So I was trying to create a structure that was focused on making it easier to find out where things are. So how do I participate in NANOG? Membership, there's attend a meeting, present at NANOG, and sponsor NANOG. Ways that you can contribute, ways that you can get involved. Then you get into the section about NANOG. What we do, who we are, our story, timeline, and code of conduct. And then there's the outreach area. NANOG outreach, education, get involved. Resources, mailing list, organizations within our community, tutorials, fellowships. News and stories where you will find NANOG in the news, articles that are found out in external publications that reference NANOG or are relevant to the NANOG community, and NANOG stories will be our blog. If you have an account, a member, and you're trying to log in or you're participating at NANOG in terms of presentations, here you'd find the tools related to accessing your profile, managing your membership, recovering your account information, and the related presentation tools. And now I'd like to introduce our staff. So I'd love to have the NANOG staff come up onto stage. I want you to get a chance to meet them all. They've all begged me not to do this, and I promised them this will be a one-time thing. I just think it's really important for the community to get a chance to know the people who help make all these meetings a reality. I'm missing someone, but I will forgive them. Valerie Whitkopf, she is our program director. Valerie works in conjunction with the program community to make the content in these meetings a reality. She works very hard, she wears a lot of hats, and really, really fortunate to have her with us. Day Harvey is our meeting director. Day Harvey is magical. She puts a ton of work into making these meetings amazing. And she's made me promise that I won't make her talk. So I will do that for the time being. And then we have, in our new additions to our staff, because now we've doubled. We had 3 staff members, and now we have a whopping 6 people. When I first got here and I realized that there were only 3 people to make these meetings happen, I was just absolutely blown away. I mean, these are huge undertakings. And to just, Betty, Day, and Val, hats off. There was just so much to pull these things off. So we have some new people. And first of all, we have Brandy Herrera. And Brandy is our senior content strategist. I had the fortune of knowing Brandy for a while before I tried to get her to join NANOG. And at first, she said, no, I'm not interested. I don't think that's going to be fun. No. But now she's here. Do you like your job?
I do. I love it.
Okay.
I'm really happy to be on this team. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. She's been charged. Yeah, it's fun. She's been in charge of our social media, helping to come up with rewriting all the content on our website, a lot of the materials. I think she's been doing an amazing job, and we're really fortunate to have her on board. Sean Winstead. Sean Winstead is our business development specialist. Sean is not shy. Sean will talk to you. She will reach out. She's very friendly, and we're fortunate to have her aboard. Alyssa had done a wonderful job for NANOG. It was just the thought that we had grown to such a size that it would be important to have someone who worked for NANOG, who was focusing on our customers, and who was that was her singular focus. And I will tell you this, that woman lives, breathes, and sleeps NANOG. She's up in the morning early, and then I'm on the West Coast, she's on the East Coast. I'm talking to her at 7 p.m. on the West Coast. Sean is the Energizer Bunny, always going, and we're fortunate to have her. And then we have Lee Brooks. Lee Brooks is our senior designer, and I am just really thrilled to have the combination of people that I have here. I'm also a designer, so it was I was always kind of worried, what would it be like me picking someone who's going to be a designer? And I am thrilled to have Lee aboard. We sync really well, we get along really well, so it's just all kind of works magical. So here's a team. Here's the people that make this happen. I want to give a chance for a little bit of Q&A. Anything you guys want to talk about, the mics are open. Come up, and we're going to try to answer anything you can.
Edward, thank you, and thank you to the staff up there. I think one of the questions that came up this morning over breakfast, which I think is really good for us to talk about, is right now we have a two-tier structure with NANOG. We have members and we have non-members. And at the start of the meeting, we had a slide that said, hey, we've got 300 and some members, we've got 300 and some first-time attendees, and then there's the rest of you unwashed masses that just show up. My question to you and the rest of the community is there still a purpose to maintaining a two-tier structure of saying, hey, there's members who are special and they get special member bacon in the breakfast, but then there's everybody else who shows up to these meetings? Why not open up the participation to everybody who attends the meeting? Why not make it so that if you're here, you can vote for board members, you can participate, you have an equal say,
Sure.
Rather than continuing this kind of caste structure?
Yeah. Well, first of all, that would be, I appreciate your comments, that would be a bylaw change, okay? And the reason why we're having the community meetings is because I think it's important that the entire community is informed. And I'm looking for feedback from the entire community as we kind of go forward. I have my own kind of personal views about membership, but I'll just kind of keep that to myself. But I think it's really critical that we include everyone, and that's why we're having these community meetings. Yes, board member.
Hi, Patrick Gilmore, board member, and one of the people who started the two-tier system. Just so that we're clear, to be a 501c3, and the way we did it, there's lots of ways to do it, but the way we did it requires a membership class. Now, that class doesn't have to be restrictive or whatever. We made it $100, and then we gave you $25 off a thing, trying to make it pretty much as easy as possible, et cetera, et cetera. We could look at redoing how membership is defined, and there are different ways of doing it, but we need a membership legally, or at least that was the legal advice when we broke from Merit a long time ago. So, yeah, we need members, but maybe we just bump the registration fee and make everybody who attends a member, but then that would leave people out from the mailing list, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a very long conversation, and I don't think we should have it right here, but just realize that we actually did think about it, and the membership is strictly things like, you get some perks, but it's mostly to create the 501c3, have voting rights and things like that. If you come here, if you're an attendee, there's no limits on, attending any of the sessions or anything like that based on whether you're a member or not.
Thank you, Patrick. Yes.
My name is Mercy Onohami, student at Ball State University. My question is NANOG membership strictly for professionals? Is it open to students?
It is open to anyone.
Anyone who's got $100.
Yes. So your grandmother could be a member of NANOG. Any other questions?
All right, Sean Kennedy, and I'm a NANOG volunteer. That's my only affiliation right now. So great job on the hotel. I particularly like the atrium. There's a lot of spaces to meet and talk. The open seating area has been very valuable. Can you talk a little bit, maybe 2 to 5 minutes, about how you select hotels, some of the cities we're going to? I realize you don't have the slides in front. And how far in advance does NANOG plan locations, sizing, so on?
Okay. Well, we plan in advance. Is it 3? You can hold your fingers up. It's all right. You don't have to talk.
We have a direction of 2 years in advance.
Okay.
Right now, we're 3 years out.
Yeah, 2 years advance. Right now, we're 3 years out. And we, based upon a criteria of, first of all, it's been very clear to the membership we don't want to be in convention spaces. So that means we have to find hotels which are large enough to accommodate a group this size. So a lot of the restrictions come in the size of the events, the rooms that are available, and that restricts us. We also try to, it's a rotation every,
Avoid other meetings, conferences.
yeah, avoid other conference meetings which are in our space, such as IETF or MOG, even though we did collide with MOG this year. So that people who travel to a series of events, they can go to the events without thinking, well, I've got to choose between NANOG and going to IETF meeting. The Canadian rotation is?
Canada every 3 years.
Yeah, Canada every 3 years. Again, it's part of North America. And the meetings up in the queue, we're going to be in DC is our next meeting. Austin is after that. Back here in San Francisco. Sorry, Boston. She's got a list, my cheat sheet. She knows it in her head, but I'm going to be kind to her. So it's in Washington, D.C., Austin, San Francisco, Boston, Seattle, Atlanta, Minneapolis, and then Toronto. But again, the biggest restriction is the size of the actual event.
And also
You can come up to the mic. I know you're not shy.
I'm loud. So another thing, I think it's really loud. Okay, so the other thing is the availability of meeting rooms, because many of the organizations that come here want to have private meetings. So we look at the availability of private meeting rooms and also the big ballrooms. We need a room like this, and you went to Beer and Gear last night. So we need a room that can accommodate Beer and Gear, which is one of our most popular events.
And then sometimes we've had to be in spaces where we had to flip the ballroom for Beer and Gear. And I think we have one event coming up where we have to do that, but we try to avoid that if possible. It's a lot of work for our contractors to come in, working all day long, and then having to come in, turn a room over, and then come back, have Beer and Gear, and then turn the room over in the morning. So we try to be kind. Any other questions? You can ask another.
Sorry, part of this is to correct my oversight before. My name is Matt Petak. I forgot to introduce myself
Thank
on
you,
my
sir.
first question. Again, Matt Petak. So in the past, one of the questions that's come up is why 3 times a year? We do a joint meeting with Aaron in October, which works out really well. And you're going to tell me it's a bylaw change.
No. He's
Okay.
gonna. Yes, all right. No.
Okay. Have we thought about doing a pairing up and doing 2 meetings a year where we just join up with Aaron and we do April and October instead of 3 times a year?
Good question.
This is Patrick again. I'm going to take this because Edward wasn't around when we did this several times. So personally, I think it should be twice a year. And what we do is we survey the membership every 2, 3, 4 years, and we say, would you like to go to 2 times a year? And the overwhelming majority say no, they want to keep it at 3. Some of the reasons given is that I can't go to every meeting, but if there's 3, missing 1 isn't too bad. If I miss 1 of 2, that's worse. Some of the other ones are, from silly to I really like to meet people for 3 times a year because it fits my business needs, et cetera, et cetera. We do what the membership and community in general wants. This actually was a survey of the entire NANOG community, not just the membership. Maybe things have changed. Maybe we should run the survey again and ask, but we've tried to change to 2 before, and just the membership and the community didn't want it.
Yeah. And again, this is the purpose of these community meetings. So you get a chance to understand what we're doing and then get feedback from all of you.
Straw poll, who here wants 2 times year? Raise your hand. Who wants 3 times a year? Raise your hand. No 2 hands in the air.
Yeah.
No, I'm not asking for 4.
Again, this is the purpose of these, to raise your hands, let us know. If someone says we want to do something, we need feedback. All right. I guess if there are no other questions, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Oh, no, if there's more questions, please, we got time.
Hi, it's Mike from ESNet. Just a question to you guys, because I know that we're kind of on a borderline in terms of our attendance, and there's a very limited set of hotels we can use. If we went to 2 meetings a year, would that have implications for that as well, in terms of it make it harder for us to go to second-tier cities, it make it harder for us to find hotel
Most
space?
definitely, most definitely. And there's also the option of a hybrid, where you have 2 large anchor meetings a year, and then a smaller one that's in a second or third tier city.
Thanks.
All right. If nothing else, thank you all for your time. Thank you, guys.